Welcome to another compelling episode of Tipsy Mondays on Tipsy Talks, where discipline meets depth and leadership is redefined. Today's esteemed guest is a soldier scholar, a leader thinker, Lieutenant General Vipin Gupta, retired. From commanding troops in high stress terrains to exploring the unseen terrain of the human spirit, he's carved quite a unique legacy. He's the author of three deeply insightful books: The Games, Mind Play, Human to Human, and his latest, The Power to Influence the New Age. Jal Gupta, sir, it's an honor to host you.
Thank you, Tipsy, and I'm really thankful to you for inviting me to be, I think, your first guest,
Sir,
I guess.
absolutely, sir.
Okay.
Yes. So we'll begin with the questions. There's so much the audience would like to know about your journey and what you have in mind in the coming few years. To start with, sir, you've written not one, but three thought-provoking books, each exploring a different layer of the human experience. The Games, Mind Play covered real-life cases of irrational human behavior in the operational area of Indian Army, while Human to Human was about how to engage the powers of human reality and relationships to live in abundance and joy. And your last and most recent book, sir, The Power to Influence a New Age, links spiritual intelligence to leadership and influence. That's the one which intrigues me the most, sir. So let me ask you, what inspired this writing journey, sir? And was there a turning point in your military or personal life that pushed you to explore these dimensions?
Thanks, Tipsy, for the question. Now, as an army officer, we are all quite used to military writing.
Sir.
And I would take a step forward and used to write during my service small pieces for various magazines.
Right, sir.
In fact, if you see, I have written a full-fledged book also.
Right.
Well, when I was serving before my retirement, The Games, Mind Play.
All right, sir.
Of course, it was for military readership because it had classified information.
Right, right.
But to answer your specific question as to why this genre
Sir.
and why non-fiction,
Sir.
I'll give you a little background. You see, if you look at the title of these three books, they are connected through a common chord of spirituality, which is all about body, mind, and soul.
Right.
And I hail from a liberal Punjabi family,
Sir.
where materialistic and spiritual pursuits were never in conflict with each other.
Right, sir.
We can pursue them independently or jointly. And as a matter of routine, our three generations would get together and indulge in a crazy drinking session while discussing deep nuances of spirituality.
Right, sir.
So in a family setup like this, my spiritual journey began at a very, very early age of 12. You'll be surprised.
Right.
When I was initiated into the amazing world of meditation.
Right, sir.
In fact, I would call that as a turning point in my life.
Right, sir. Right, sir.
So in the spiritually inclined atmosphere of home, I was getting exposed to its marvelous dimensions over, having spiritual conversations, reading a large number of books written by the New Age spiritual masters, and meeting some of them. Very fortunate to have met some of them.
Right, sir.
So all this clarified a lot of myths about spirituality and religion.
Right, sir.
Simultaneously, in the army, in the leadership intensive culture of Indian Army, I was getting all the opportunity to practice my leadership style or to learn the art of leadership at every level, from lieutenant to lieutenant general.
Right, sir.
So my life was empirically leading me to understand the deep nuances of these two fascinating subjects, spiritual wisdom and leadership, and the deep connect that the two have with each other. Right. I realized that they have a very deep connect with each other. Well, if you have a look in history, all the military leaders, emperors, kings, when they used their spiritual wisdom and they infused it in their leadership style, they led much better. I mean, again, we can count so many names. So since I was very keen to learn about spiritual wisdom, I started exploring it.
Right, sir.
And I discovered some fascinating facts about spiritual wisdom. I realized and I discovered that spiritual wisdom is the practical application of spiritual intelligence, which is inbuilt into the core of every human. And it has a neurological and biological connect, which opened a Pandora's box, because then its degree can be altered. When you have biological and neurological background, the intensity can be increased. And it is also called as mother of all intelligence. Why it is called mother of all intelligence? Because it lays the basic foundation upon which every other intelligence thrives, whether it is IQ, EQ, or
Right.
HQ. HQ, incidentally, is the happiness quotient.
All right.
It also takes us much beyond the concept of problem solving and relationship management
Right, sir.
by aligning our body, mind, and soul with the flow of universal frequencies to foster inner peace, clarity, and wisdom. It also ensures that a highly intellectual person, he can misuse his intelligence. No, it regulates IQ and EQ. I'll give you an example. A highly intellectual person may become intellectually arrogant or misuse his intelligence.
Right, sir.
Similarly, a highly empathetic person may get emotionally drained unless both of them have got spiritual resilience to back them up.
Right.
So,
Right.
in a sense, spiritual wisdom or spiritual intelligence basically is the ability to keep the semblance of body and mind in perfect balance and take the perception level to a place where you can go deep inside, even beyond the three-dimensional world, and can source the higher wisdom.
Right. Right.
Now, in my last assignment, I had the opportunity to interact with a large number of young generation millennials and Gen Zs, both from the civil stream and from the army, from our own establishment. And I realized that this younger generation is much more aligned to the emerging world. And as the backbone of global workforce, they are the key drivers of innovation, societal trends, economic growth. But, a big but, their full potentials are always, they are not fully exposed because of rising anxieties, mental health challenges,
Right, sir.
early burnouts caused by a whole host of new age realities like technology, fast-paced move of technology, digital overload, peer pressure, poor work-life balance. So they would need the power of spiritual intelligence or spiritual wisdom to take them to different heights.
Absolutely, sir.
Now, since I was working on these two aspects, I thought that if I pen them in the form of a book, to give you now a specific answer, if I convert them into a book,
Sir.
it'll be of great help to the younger generation.
Absolutely.
And during COVID, I remember I started writing my first book, Human to Human, The Source of Joy in Relationship. I had a complete freedom, complete time and space available, and I wrote this book, which was followed by the second one. The first book is about unlocking the full potentials or the invoke the power of universe, which is wired into every human, all of us.
Right.
And the second book is about synchronizing the three elements of SQ, influence, and new age into a winning strategy. That is how these three books took shape on my table. I hope I've answered your question.
Absolutely, sir. I mean, it was so interesting the way you described your experience. I would say from the battlefield to the inner field, sir, and how the young generation stands to gain from imbibing. If they cannot touch spiritual intelligence, so they can at least touch the emotional intelligence. That will pave the way for the spiritual intelligence.
Yeah.
How would you? Okay, now being both men of uniform, sir, how would you define spiritual intelligence or spiritual quotient in the context of a very stiff and a different kind of an organization called the military, sir? And why is it so overlooked in all high pressure situations?
Yeah, it's a very good question, Tipsy. Now, let me answer the first part. Spiritual intelligence is the ability of a leader to inspire and influence his command,
Sir.
or their command. Actually, in today's world, is his and her we call it their command.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because we have leaders from both
Correct.
domains. Without the backing of the positional authority.
Right, sir.
It is also a tool, an innate tool in the hand of a leader, new age leader, to make leadership more impressive, more resonant, more resilient, and more appealing. You will all agree with me that the true test of a leader lies in his ability to lead without the crutch of authority.
Absolutely, sir.
Otherwise, leadership can lose its sense and
Absolutely,
impact.
sir. Absolutely, sir.
So it has to be exercised by influencing your command. That is the crux. And spiritual intelligence exactly does that. It enables that.
Right.
Now, let me open it up. You know, spiritual intelligence is important because leaders will be able to navigate and endure the HR challenges of today and future. SI nurtures its intelligence from 5 elements.
Right, sir.
The first element is awareness. Awareness is the expression of life. Nothing exists in this universe unless there is awareness to apprehend it. The level of awareness goes up when you stay in the present moment, because in presence, you get rid of your past, you get rid of your future, and you stay in present moment, which is serene, which is calm, which is clutter-free.
Right, sir.
So that is what awareness does. For a leader who is fully aware, whose awareness level is high, imagine, I told you earlier also, his perception level goes many folds because perception rides on awareness. And the second element is spontaneity. Spontaneity, Tipsy, is the art of living moment to moment.
Right.
It is also believing in your intuitive vibes.
Something like living the moment, sir? Living in the moment?
Living in the moment. Yeah, absolutely. You're right. You hit the nail on the head. Living in the moment. And it is based on the principle that our first thought that comes to us when we are in serene and present moment, it is always pure. It is always unadulterated.
Right, sir.
It is unspoiled. Why? Because mind does not get time to mess with it.
Correct, sir. Process it. Correct.
And spontaneity also get rid of paradox of choice. Right. Today we are living in an era where there's a problem of plenty.
Absolutely, sir.
And hence you are always confused which choice to take.
Absolutely. I do.
So for a leader, it is exceptional because he can go for a quick decision making if he has a spontaneous mind. Right. That leads to the third element. The third element is holism.
Right, sir.
Holism, the interconnected whole or 360-degree approach.
Right, sir.
And it works on a principle that the whole is bigger than sum of its parts. Unlike mathematics, where 2 plus 2 is always 4. In holism, 2 plus 2 can be 0 also, and it can be 20, it can be even 100, absolutely, depending upon how you connect with the parts.
Right, sir.
Now, in the context of leadership, a leader who connects with every member of a team, who carries the entire team along, there the concept of holism comes alive because everybody contributes
absolutely
to his vision and goal. Everybody goes in the same direction. One disloyal member, Tipsy, can play merry hell.
Absolutely.
Our history is replete.
Yes.
We've gone through all that.
Unmotivated link somewhere, sir, can ruin the entire.
Yeah. And you had it.
Yes, sir.
So that go and also holism begins where spontaneity ends. Very interesting.
Sir.
Spontaneous mind allows you to pick up an option very fast without any delay, I told you. And holism work on that option to make it right by adopting a 360-degree approach.
Right, sir.
So this leads me to the fourth element. The fourth element is humility. Humility is the expression of power.
Right, sir.
It is the art of giving up false pride in order to retain your dignity. In order to maintain.
I like that quote, sir. Humility, the expression of power. That is a quotable quote.
Expression of power. It's not expression of weakness.
Absolutely.
I mean, you have to be very powerful from within and without to be humble.
Yes. Sir.
And a guy who's a leader who's humble, who exercises humility, can do wonders. He can establish trust. He can establish faith, resilience, everything. That leads me to the fifth element and the final element of spiritual intelligence, which is happiness.
Right.
Happiness is the hidden purpose of human existence. Now, I'm making a very tall statement. Why? Because if you really see, there's a biological basis to it. We have happiness hormones embedded and wired into our body. I don't have to name them, we all know them.
Absolutely.
And they are the feel good factor. They keep us alive, they keep us ticking, they keep us kicking. And there is a methodology by which you can activate them for lasting peace.
Yes.
Now, imagine if these five elements are active in a leader. He literally invoked the power of universe. Why? Because these five elements are synonymous with the five elements of universe.
Universe. So
Awareness is synonymous with space, the boundless space.
absolutely, sir.
Spontaneity is synonymous with free flowing air.
Absolutely, sir.
Holism with harmonious earth.
Right, sir.
And humility with adaptable water.
Right, sir.
And happiness with fire because it ignites warmth, energy, joy.
Right, sir.
So that is what is required in a leader. I mean, he becomes a microcosmic reflection of the macrocosm. There's nothing beyond that a leader can accept, or the leader can go if he imbibes the elements of spiritual intelligence. Now, to answer the second part of your question, why it is not so popular and prevalent in the services or in the forces. Well, I have a very simple answer to that, Tipsy. Why? Because people are a little confused about spirituality and religion.
Right. Correct, sir. I wanted to ask you that question, sir.
Yeah, the two are totally different coins of two different sides of a coin. You see, religion is not permitted in the army because we don't promote religion, as we all know. Because you have to follow a set of rules, regulations, you have to follow some scriptures, you are totally get bound by that. Whereas spirituality makes you independent. It's your individual thing. You can pursue spirituality at any time of the day or night, at anywhere. Yeah. Time and space is yours.
Absolutely.
To listen to your inner voice makes you spiritual.
Absolutely.
To connect with the power of universe and higher wisdom makes you spiritual. So that is the difference. And I feel that this is very, very important that we all understand. The young leaders must understand the concept of spirituality and spiritual intelligence if we want to make the winners for life.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely, sir.
That's what I feel about it.
Sir, I think no one could have defined it better than you have done, and it shows the kind of research and the kind of indulgence that you've given to the subject. And I quite like when you categorically de-hyphenated spiritualism or being spiritual with being religion, spirituality with religion. I think that's a quite a defining statement there, sir.
No, there is a total difference. Yeah, there's total difference. There is no comparison between the two.
Sir.
Totally different ways. Yeah. Okay.
Sir, we'll move on from there. And having experienced it all through your life, sir, would you be able to share a small story with us, where the SQ became very, very apparently affected and made a tangible difference, whether in teamwork, strategy, or taking a moral decision at a personal level?
Yeah, Tipsy, I can recount many of them. Small stories, small anecdote. But I would like to quote here the one which happened with me at the beginning of my service. That'll probably make it more interesting.
Sir.
I'll tell you, the year was 1982. That is the year I got commissioned, 1982.
Right.
And the month was October.
Right, sir.
And I was just about 4 months of service in the Indian Army. And I was posted in the interior of Northeast. And Northeast, being an army officer,
yes,
that it was reeling under very difficult phase of insurgency.
Absolutely.
All across Northeast.
Sir.
And was posted in the interior.
Right.
And after 4 months of my service in a unit, I was given my first operational assignment, and that was to occupy a hill feature on a range which made a salient into Bangladesh.
Quite interesting.
Salient means, we all understand, for others who don't, it's a protrusion into the other territory, and it could be approached from 3 sides. That is why the strategic importance. And we had terrorist camps or the insurgent camps on the opposite side of the hill feature along the Bangladesh hill ranges. So it was an eyeball to eyeball deployment.
Absolutely.
Orders given to me were very clear. Dominate the area, be vigilant, and don't get killed. I said, what is this? He said, don't get killed. Why? Because in a situation, a similar post about a couple of months earlier,
Sir.
a post was butchered by insurgents. They got sneaked in and they butchered, they beheaded. And well, it could have been our turn. So that is why they cautioned me.
Right, sir.
So Tipsy, after about 2 nights of boat patrolling and foot patrolling and all that, we occupied that height, right?
Right, sir.
In the middle of nowhere. And every night we would wait with bated breath that something will happen.
Sir.
Nothing happened. Days turned into weeks, and October turned into November.
Right.
And incidentally, the IB was separated by a river which was flowing in between. IB was aligned to it. So when it turned into November, I very vividly remember at night a strange number 1111 flashed in my memory.
Right, sir.
I just ignored it.
Sir.
Next day morning, I got reminded again when I looked at my watch. It was exactly 11:11. My 2IC briefed me about the insurgent movements. He finished his briefing. I looked at my watch. It was again 11:11. Why the hell this number is coming to me again and again? I pondered. What is so great about 11:11? But then, by then, I had developed a lot of faith in my subconscious mind and intuitive vibes. Because I told you about my background.
Sir.
So I was very convinced that there's something to it. It's a warning signal which is coming to my mind again and again. I must take action. So we became very alert.
Right.
We increased the patrolling. And I laid an ambush.
Right, sir.
Laid an ambush which is covering 11 o'clock approach. 11 o'clock approach to our camp. Right, 11 o'clock approach is a frontal approach. Nobody would go for that approach. But I wanted to honor my commitment to my intuitive wife. So I laid that ambush.
Right, sir.
3 nights we waited.
Right.
3 nights. On the third night, around midnight, I was told by a listening patrol that there's some movement in the river. We allowed the group to come in somewhere in the middle and challenge them. And in the panic, they opened fire, which gave us their intent and location. We opened retaliatory fire. They realized they're caught in an ambush. They went back. The other side of the river bank, the firing stopped. After some time, the firing again resumed. I said, but why the hell are they firing? Yeah, they have gone out of the ambush. They have broken the ambush successfully. Why are they firing again? Again, my body language, my body vibes, and my subconscious mind, my heightened sense of awareness at that time, because there was nothing existing for me at that time. Nothing was happening. Only I was focused on that. My awareness level was at its peak.
Right.
I said, there's something to it. They are definitely up to something. In a very spontaneous decision, I lifted the ambush from there, leaving 2-3 men there, and I went back to my post and laid another ambush.
Right.
I was sure that these guys are going to come back and attack our post, because thinking that our post is depleted and will be no match.
Correct, sir.
And we were waiting for them. And exactly that happened. They turned back, took a detour and attacked our post, and we were waiting for them to come. Right. And in panic, they ran all over. We captured 4 of them.
Fantastic.
Alive. Without a single casualty. The most successful operation happened. Fantastic. Later on in the interrogation, they confirmed to us that they planned the attack on 11th November night. And they took the frontal approach, 11 o'clock approach, in order to deceive us. And that, I would understand why this number 1111 was flashing in front of me. So my spontaneous mind, my intuitive awareness could counter that deadly attack on our post.
Absolutely.
And from that day onwards, Tipsy, my command, my men, those who were with me, 25 of them, they started treating me as their undisputed leader.
Right.
That is what the elements of spiritual intelligence they can do.
That's an amazing stories. Amazing stories. In fact, 11th of November, 11th, and then November is 11 and approach is 11. So it is actually 11/11.
That's what.
Amazing, sir. No, but sir, it's your presence of mind that you brought your troops back and actually, got back to the post. That saved you the day and possibly got you the honor, sir. That
was masterstroke. That saved the day, actually. Otherwise, anything could have happened.
That's really fantastic, sir. So we'll move on to the next question, sir. You being a proponent of SQ in such in a dominating fashion, sir. Can you tell us how can leaders cultivate SQ in environments that prioritize discipline and hierarchy or introspection? I mean, we're talking primarily about the men in the armed forces, men and women in the armed forces.
Understood.
The other.
I've understood the question.
So.
Well, for that you'll have to read the book.
So I've done that.
But I'll tell you.
Exhorting audience to do that.
For the audience, yeah, I'll tell you. The simple answer is cultivate SQ as a habit. Simple answer. But the difficult part is acquiring a new habit is both time consuming and it takes a lot of efforts. It's a set procedure. It goes through 4 stages. I'll just tell you quickly about those 4 stages.
Right, sir.
In the first stage, you must be clear and convinced about the subject of habit that you want to inculcate, or the subject of whatever you want to make it a habit. Now, in this case, subject is how to inculcate or how to develop SQ, as you mentioned. That is the subject. So there's complete clarity on that. The second stage of developing that is if the process of developing a habit becomes simple. It becomes motivating. It becomes inspiring.
Right.
It becomes appealing. It becomes attractive. Why, if it is not, then you will leave it within a matter of few days. Absolutely. This is why the hell should I follow this? Yeah, I mean, it's boring.
Absolutely.
So that is very important. That is stage 2. In stage 3, it should be repetitive in our behavior. Only then it will get grilled into our system. Only then we'll start getting grilled into our inner self. And for that, it has to be simple, easy, and rewarding. You must see the reward.
Right, sir.
And finally, the 4th stage is reached when people start observing you and they start complimenting you.
Right, sir.
Yeah, you've got something phenomenally different. You become totally changed person. So these are the 4 stages.
Right, sir.
Yeah. So imagine if there's a break in any of these 4 stages, right, the process will fail. So the 4 stages are very important. I'll give you a very simple example, to explain this further.
Sure.
Let's say you want to develop a good physique by going to a gym. Now the subject is very clear. You want to develop good physique by gymming or by workout. So stage 1 is clear. Sure. Gymming,
sure,
good physique, no disparity, no dispute. Second stage. Now, the process of going to gym has to be made appealing and interesting. How do you do that? Maybe you can join a gym where you have, it's a unisex, place where you can go along with your partner, you can go along with your companion, motivate each other. Today I'm not feeling, she will say, no, okay, you must go. And, vice versa. Or you, on a lighter side, you join a gym where you have a chance to socialize with a person of opposite sex, and if you are single. Or maybe a gym instructor is very, very competent. These are hard realities, Tipsy. I mean,
I agree, sir. Yes.
If this happens, you will get motivated to, make it a regular feature of going every day.
Yes.
So 3rd stage is crossed.
Yes.
And the 4th, when you start building muscles, when your friends, relatives, and family say, "Okay, yaar, Tipsy, I mean, you're looking absolutely fit, rippling muscles." All that, you will feel so happy from within.
Yes.
Now imagine if any of these factors were not there. Suppose the gym was located at a far off distance, 20 kilometers away. I mean, it would have taken you a lot of time, energy, and effort to go there. Absolutely. You would have probably left it. Or the gym instructor was not competent. You said, why the hell should I go there?
Sir.
Or you don't have that vibe or the atmosphere in that gym. It's a very dull place. You would leave it. So every stage is very, very important. Once you cross these 4 stages, you cultivate that into a habit. So gymming becomes your habit.
Absolutely, sir.
Right? And there's no going back. Because once you make something as your habit, then it is not difficult to hold that habit, because then that habit goes into your subconscious mind.
Absolutely.
It becomes part of your system. Absolutely. It gets wired. Meditation has become part of my system.
Sir.
Because I realized what is the importance of meditation. I crossed all 4 stages long back. And today it has become an addiction. Okay. Similarly, you can cultivate, you can make SQ as a habit. Okay. Now for that, I would request you to read the book.
We will do
it is
that.
explained.
I think we should leave it at that because the audience must also put in their effort.
Yeah.
Should be the effort number one, sir, to get to know what it's all about before pursuing it. Sir,
Yeah.
when you were talking about habit forming, the principle of 7-21-30 came to my mind, sir. It takes, I mean, I teach these subjects to young professionals. They say it takes 7 days to actually, get going, to start forming a habit, sir. And the period between 21 and 30 days is very, very crucial, sir. If you leave it between 21, if you leave it at 21, sir, you're back to day number 1. If you carry on to 30, sir, it becomes a lifestyle. As you said, the body starts imbibing it and, sir, starts gelling with that thing, and it starts compelling you to follow that habit every day on a basis.
Very right, very right. Yeah.
Sir, thank you so very much. We will come now to the next round, sir, which is an interesting rapid fire round. And I will shoot 10 questions at you, sir. You will have to reply with a very, very short answer, yes, no, or possibly what I'm asking you to say.
So, coffee with Karan.
Coffee with Karan, absolutely. Absolutely.
Coffee with a conversation with Tipsy. Yeah.
But sir, then there's nothing below the belt or off the field. Like, Karan, it's all related.
I mean, you can hit anywhere.
Sir, before that, I might ask you, this is now the 11th question. Is attaining EQ a stepping stone towards attaining SQ?
You see, Tipsy, I told you that SQ is the mother of all intelligence, which means that the IQ and EQ gets incorporated. They get incorporated in SQ.
Understood.
Right? SQ is the overall. It's a mother.
Understood.
And these are the kids. They become part of it. Understood. I gave you an example also.
Sir.
That with IQ, you can become arrogant.
Yes.
You can misuse intelligence.
Absolutely.
With the EQ, emotional quotient,
sir,
you can become emotionally drained. Sir. Unless you have a spiritual resilience to back you.
I mean, balance it
out. So it is part of that.
Right. Thank you very much, sir. We'll move on quickly to question number 1, sir. Rapid fire, here they comes.
Yeah.
Sir, so the first question, sir. One word you associate with spiritual intelligence.
It's a innate power. Right. Innate power, inbuilt power.
Right, sir. Next question, sir. SQ or IQ? Which is harder to develop?
SQ, the mother of all intelligence.
A leader, past or present, who embodied SQ?
Sorry?
Sir, please name a leader, past or present, who embodied SQ in his demeanor.
I can't think of any name which is more suitable than Satya Nadella. I am his big fan.
Right, sir.
Read his book, Hit Refresh. You will know what kind of person he is. He's the live example.
Right, sir. The next one, sir. Most underrated habit to build SQ.
Art of listening. People ignore listening.
Right, sir.
Which is ultimate.
Right. So please name a book or a resource that shaped your SQ journeys.
Naming a book is very easy for me because I read a lot of books, and the master stroke, one of the best books that I must recommend is The New Earth, written by Eckhart Tolle.
Right.
Phenomenal. It covers everything and anything.
I think we'll give a reference of this in the bio below for the audience.
It's a difficult book to understand. Right. First 30-40 chapters of 40 odd pages are very difficult to understand.
Right.
Many people have left it after reading 10 pages, but then once you cross those 30 or 40 pages, then you will not do it. Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. So we'll move on to the next question. The biggest myth about spirituality in leadership.
That a spiritual leader is, he believes in rituals.
Okay, sir. The next one, sir. A morning ritual you swear by. I think the answer is going to be meditation.
Yeah, answer is very clear. Meditation. Be with yourself. Nothing better than that. Yeah, nothing better than that.
Sir, you will have to complete the sentence. SQ is useless without dash.
It's simple, yeah. It is useless without practice.
Practice.
When you practice something, only then you convert knowledge into wisdom.
Right, sir.
Otherwise, it remains knowledge.
Absolutely, sir. Yeah. The next one, sir. One question you wish people asked you about SQ.
Why is it called mother of all intelligence? I will give them a discourse.
That's a pertinent one. A very pertinent one. And last, sir, your favorite quote on spiritual wisdom.
All right. There are many quotes, but I think the best is that elevate your spiritual quotient
Sir,
and be the winner for life. Elevate your spiritual quotient and be the winner for life.
be the winner for life. Oh, that's the one to remember, sir. We will definitely share it with the audience as well. Well,
Yeah.
sir, we reached the end of the journey here. And General Gupta, sir, your journey from the battlefield to the inner field is not just rare, sir. It is deeply needed today, something which is the need of the hour. To all the listeners, if you are exploring leadership in the new age, dive into this trilogy by General Vipin Gupta, The Games Mind Play, Human to Human, and The Power to Influence the New Age. By the way, all these books are available on Amazon and Kindle, and I'll be sharing the references to these, links to these for you to quickly go purchase these, study them, and get well up on HQ. So thank you very much for joining us on Tipsy Mondays. Here's wishing the ink in your pen never dries and we continue to benefit from your sagacity in the future years also. Hoping to host you with your new book soon, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Tipsy, and I wish you all the success in your podcasting journey.
Thank you very much.
Great idea, and keep it up. Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, sir. That's all for this round of Tipsy Mondays. Until next time, lead with soul, command with clarity, and live with meaning. Jai Hind.